Hello everyone, this hour on Verbling, the next in my pronunciation practice series. We're working on class number 21. We're going to work on prominent words in speech, which is a little bit like what we did in the last class. We're going to be using our tools, our pronunciation tools, to analyze the text. Then we're going to listen to it, and we're going to practice it ourselves. We'll be doing a scene from the movie Lost in Translation. More about the class in just a minute. First, a little bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal, during this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate in my class. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Rule 2 is tune in to the new words you're learning and the new techniques and the new tools for pronunciation that you're learning. Use them as actively as you can so that I can give you feedback and correct you. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And you'll notice that I gave you a set of links in the, no, just one link actually, in the class material, but let me put that again in the notes. Let me put the notes in the chat, Verbling chat there, okay? And I'll share my screen in just a minute so you can see what I'm talking about. If you don't have the Verbling chat available, click there in the group chat. You can open it up. And let's see if I can do the same. I'll share my screen. I'm going to see if I can share my screen the whole time. Sometimes it gives me trouble, but let's try it. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it isn't. All right, I got it open. So let's see if I can share this with you. One sec. Okay. So right now, you should see pronunciation practice, the graphic, so you know that you're in the right place when you get it open. All right. Abraham, do you have that open?
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you say.
I was just asking if you're able to open our shared notes.
Yes, I am able to. I can see it right now.
Okay. It's weird because I don't see you for some reason. But okay, if you got it open, you got it open. Good. The reason I'm saying that is because I don't know if I can share my screen and see everyone, so I'm probably going to end up turning off the screen sharing in a moment. Okay, so, yeah, because it's already starting to give me trouble. Okay, so you've got my contact on the second page. There's no important news today. You've got the table of contents. Oh, let me open this. Let me update this a little bit. You'll see class. So you've got your tools there at the top, and as we use them, we'll review them, okay? If we don't use them, we're not going to talk about them, and you don't need to worry about them. On the classes, the recent classes there are on the top after the big review. So we're on class 20 and 21, Lost in Translation. And if you click on it, it takes you right to the page. I have no idea what page this is because I don't have the page numbers here. Anyway, maybe I can quickly put the page numbers back. 1 second. View, print layout. Okay, it looks like it takes you to page, it looks like 10. Okay, and you'll see the monologue on the top, a YouTube clip as well, and the exercises. Well, before we try to analyze the monologue, we're going to do a few exercises. So we're going to start there. So let me begin by saying, let me just see. Okay, I don't think, let me just double check here. I think in the last class, we're breaking up speech into units, into meaningful units. And we did a few exercises with that. Yeah, we broke things up into meaningful units, and that was something that helped us with our linking tool, with linking things together. So once we figured out what the units were, we could link words together inside of a unit, and we could separate where there was no linking. We could separate the units, and so we could change the meaning of the text. So yeah, okay. Let's take that a step further. Today, it's not just breaking up the text into units, but finding the prominent words in speech. So inside of a unit, what I mean by unit is a group of words that express a particular meaning that are totally different than a sentence. So inside of a sentence, you may have a group that is especially important. So within a speech unit, some words are made more prominent and others are made non-prominent. In other words, some have more emphasis, others have less emphasis. And you show the answers by basically raising your voice a little bit. It can be a bit louder or a bit higher. A prominent word is known, no, let me start over. A prominent word is shown with its prominent syllable. So what I'm going to do when we break things up, if you go down the exercises, I'll start putting a few examples for you. So examples. So an example is, here's a sentence. He's got a house in Liverpool. Okay, so there's your normal sentence. You don't know how a native speaker is going to say that. It could change according to the context. So first, we're going to put two little bars there to show that it's a unit separate from the rest of the text. Which words in that sentence do you think would be stressed, Abraham?
I think the house and Liverpool.
I agree. So we're going to put those in capitals. House and Liverpool. Okay? So we'll put those like that. Okay, one thing, not every, maybe, as I said, the prominent word is going to be shown with the syllable, the prominent syllable in capital letters. So if I'm going to choose between those two words, which word do you think would have the most stress between those two words?
I think the house, maybe.
He's got a house in Liverpool.
Or not?
It could be. If we're talking about a house, a boat, and a company, yeah, maybe it would be that the house is the most important. But what if we were talking about where the house is?
Then it's Liverpool.
Yeah, it's got to be. Okay, so we're going to do it like this. We're going to take the stressed syllable. We're going to take the stressed syllable and put only the stressed syllable in capitals. So I think what I'm going to try to do here to make it more clear is underline the words, and we're going to take Liverpool. Oops. Do something like that. I don't know. I might change the system, but for now I'm going to put it like that. Because I don't know if that's confusing or not. But I'm going to do it like this for now. Maybe we'll figure out a better way to do a transcription. Okay, so now you see this. In fact, yes, I'm going to do one thing. I'm afraid that if it's in capitals, it could be a little confusing. So I'll just put the stressed syllable in capital. He's got a house in Liverpool. So the stressed syllable is the live. And because it's capitals, you know that that word is more stressed than house. So it's going to look something like that. So words are made prominent in order to emphasize them because they carry some important or interesting information. So we can find other examples of this. Let me see if I can give you a few examples before we actually do some exercises. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to give you an example that's already done for you. And I'm just going to have you read it. And let's see if we agree about the transcription, so that we agree that the transcription makes sense. So I'm pasting it there. It's going to appear on page 11. Let's see. Takes a second. Yeah, it's on page 11. All right. So let's see. We've got Giuseppe, Abraham, and I can't see who's next to you, Giuseppe. Who is our eagle? I'm sorry, I can't see who it is.
I am Zorab.
Okay, I can't see your name for some reason. Ah, Zorab. Now I can see it. Hi, Zorab. Where are you from?
I'm from Armenia.
From Armenia. Okay, nice to have you. So what we're doing here in this class is this. Earlier in the class, not today's class, but earlier, in the beginning of these classes, months ago, in the
Yes.
document, you can see that I've given everyone a set of tools to use. So if you want to look at them over now or later, you can just click on them on the table of contents, right? So what we're doing is we're using those tools to help us then, not just how a text will sound when a native speaker speaks it, but also a way to mark it up to help us remember those changes. You can only do this if you can hear it. In other words, if you don't hear a native speaker saying this, you can guess, but it won't be very accurate. So the idea is that you have audio and text, and then you mark the text according to the tools to help you remember it, you practice it, and then you can try it out in the next class. So basically, we try to work on one monologue in each class, and the next class, people can go in and perform it, and I can give feedback on it. So that's what we're doing. What I'm doing now is expanding some of the tools. I'm giving a slightly more extensive way of using the tools. So that's the basic idea. Let's go back to today's class, page 11. And if you want the link, it's in both the chat windows, Verbling, and the group chat. So you just click on the link if you want to open this or download it. All right.
Could
So,
you send these Google Docs?
well, but there's a link there for you. Look, if you click on the Verbling chat window, see it. Hold on. See there on the very top right, you can click that, you can open it, you can download it. If you have trouble opening the Verbling chat window, click on the blue box here, and then you can open it in the same link in the group chat. So I've put it in two places for you. Okay?
Okay, I have find it.
All right. Oh, so let's get back to our text. Since you're new, Zora, let's have you just watch and listen for a moment, and maybe Giuseppe and Abraham, you can read this text and think about what I've said. The word that has the stressed syllable, which is in capital letters, that's going to be the stronger stress, the more prominent word. For example, an example we did together, he's got a house in Liverpool. It should sound like this. He's got a house in Liverpool. So Liverpool is more emphasized than house. Okay? So don't let the capitals confuse you. If the word is in full caps in the text, it's emphasized, it's prominent. But if it's only got one part of it, the stress syllable in caps, that means it's more prominent than the other word. All right? So Giuseppe, why don't you read A? And Abraham, why don't you read B? Okay? And let's see how it sounds using this transcription. Let's see how it sounds. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, give it a shot.
It's Nick's birthday coming up. Isn't it? What are you doing for that?
Well, I would like to have a party outside, but we don't have a big garden. So that limits how many people I can invite.
My garden's pretty big. Why don't you use that?
Are you sure that would be alright? That would be great.
No problem at all.
There you go. All right. So the only thing I would say, it sounds good. The only thing I would say is remember the punctuation has been taken out. So you don't know what the question and what isn't. For example, isn't it is obviously going to be a question in A. Okay, isn't it? So you have to kind of anticipate that. Other than that, it sounds pretty good. So I think I heard someone else come in. No? Maybe I did. Okay. So we're going to try it again. But this time I want you to listen to me read it once. And then Dora, maybe you can try this with me. So listen one time to me. It's Nick's birthday coming up. Notice how I said Nick's, but birthday was more prominent. It's Nick's birthday coming up. It's Nick's birthday. Kind of like that. It's Nick's birthday coming up, isn't it? What are you doing for that? What are you doing for that? So what and that are kind of equal. Well, I'd like to have a party outside, but we don't have a very big garden. So that limits how many people I can invite. And notice it's invite and not invite, right? My garden's pretty big. Now here, I'm stressing that it's my garden. I'm not stressing how big it is. I could say my garden's pretty big. I didn't. I said my garden's pretty big. Why don't you use that? It's a question. It's got a question word at the beginning. So we see that it's a question, but it's not written with punctuation. There's no question mark. We just have to look at the structure of the sentence and see that it's a question. Then he says, are you sure? Another question. That would be right. Are you sure that would be all right? Would be great. So that would be all right and that would be great have two totally different meanings. The first one is part of the sentence. Are you sure that would be all right? Sure is less prominent than all right. That would be great is a different thought entirely. And then finally, no problem at all. Notice I say at all with a d at all because I'm American. If you were British, you would say at all. But here I'm going to do American English because that's what you're listening to. So I'm going to stress American English. Okay, so listen to the whole thing all the way through once, and we'll try it one more time. It's Nick's birthday coming up, isn't it? What are you doing for that? Well, I'd like to have a party outside, but we don't have a very big garden. So that limits how many. My garden's pretty big. Why don't you use that? Are you sure? Oops, sorry. Are you sure that would be all right? That would be great. No problem at all. Okay? Any questions about the text? No? All right. Let's try this a second time. This time, see, we've got Zorab and we've got. I recognize your picture, but I forgot who it is.
Hussein.
Second?
Hussein.
Hussein. Okay, yeah. I recognize your picture, but I couldn't see your name. Okay. So Hussein, did you hear me read through the text one time? Were you listening?
Yeah, I listened to it.
All right, all right.
Listen.
So let's give the two of you a chance to try this. Okay, so Hussein, you're going to read A, thinking about how I read it and looking at the notation, you'll see where the stress is, where the
Okay.
prominent words are. And so you're going to read B. Okay?
Hello, teacher.
Are you ready?
Your voice is very
Yeah.
bad.
It's cutting out. John.
There is some echo.
Okay. Well,
It's cutting out.
that, is everyone
Yes.
my voice cutting up, or is it just the two of them? Can you hear me okay, Giuseppe?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
It's a bit
All right.
laggy for me too.
Okay, so let me rejoin the Hangout. I'll be right back.
I
okay?
think it is your
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right
I
back.
think
One
it
second.
is your
I'll be right-
connection
Hold on,
because
wait. I'm gonna go and come back. Wait. Be right back. All right.
Hi Hussein, how are you?
Hi, Zorep. I'm doing very well. How about you?
Thank you, fine.
Yeah, good.
Every time we together participate every
Yeah.
classroom.
Yes,
Okay.
you're right.
I
Okay,
have
wait. Let me just ask. Can you hear me now? Better? Is it better now?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. It's not my connection. The problem is Google Hangouts are not really made for this. That's the problem. So if I share my screen,
but
document.
our class matter voice is better.
Yeah, if I share things,
If it is because of Google Plus, I think our class matter voice will be bad too.
it's just a problem of the software. It's not really the connection.
Okay,
It's if you share things, it does this. And anyway, usually if I leave and come back, it corrects itself. I don't really know why. But anyway, so let's try this again. I'm going to try again to share my screen. If my voice gets bad, you tell me. Take a look at the text. Hussein, you read A. Zorab,
Okay.
you read B.
Okay.
Yes.
Go for it.
It's Nick's birthday coming up, isn't it? What?
It's a question, isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't it? What are you doing for that?
What are you doing for that? It's a question.
Yep.
Try again. Let me hear the questions.
What are you doing for that?
What are you doing for that?
What are you doing for that?
Oh, wait a second. You've got to start a little lower so that you can end higher. So if you start up here, it's going to sound strange because you'll say, what are you doing for that? You sound like Mickey Mouse. So start a little lower. What are you doing for that?
What are you doing for that?
Good.
Yeah.
Up.
It's turn up. It's
What's
Zorep's turn, right?
Yeah. Zorab,
Yes, I'm here.
go
But
for it. You're B.
But I couldn't find example. Which one is it?
Can you see the screen right now?
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen already.
Okay. So just read from the screen. You're B. We're going to try the dialogue with you and Hussein. So you read B and try to match the intonation of your voice to the stressed words in capital letters. Okay? Do you see?
No.
Zorep, you should start with well, I'd like.
Yeah. See where we are on.
Okay, you can't continue without me because connection is very bad. I couldn't hear you, teacher. Okay, bye.
Okay. He left.
All right. Listen, if you have a bad connection, you've got to tell me. We got to try to find a way to fix it. Don't just leave, because what's the point? There's always a way to fix things, one way or another. So don't just disappear. I say that and then Giuseppe leaves. Because we can do other things. For example, and if the problem is me sharing my screen, if that's the problem, you can open it. We'll give you, and I'm saying there's always a way to fix the problem, but just disappear. All right. So, Nader, are you there?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yep, sound good. So, what we're doing is looking at prominent words in speech, and if you have a chance to open the document that I shared with you in chat, then what we
Sorry,
do is,
I'm using my mobile. If you can share your screen, I can read it, no problem.
okay, I'll try my best. Let's see if it works.
Thank you.
First of all, give me just a second here. Okay.
No problem, but I'm not
So-
sure that my connection is good, so please, can you hear me clear?
You sound fine. Everything sounds good.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to try this one more time. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And hang on just a second. Let me. Okay, there we go.
I
Okay,
can
now
see it.
on your screen you should see it. Okay, good. So, there you're going to read B, the part for B, and Hussein is going to read A. Let's take it from the top, Hussein. Okay.
Okay. Okay. It's Nick's birthday coming up, isn't it? What are you doing for that?
What are you doing for that?
What are you doing for that?
Well,
Okay.
I'd like to have a party outside, but we don't have a very big garden, so that limits how many people I
Well,
can
hang on a
invite.
second. How many people is not a question. It's part of the last sentence. So listen to me. That limits how many people I can invite. That
I know, I
limits
see.
how many people I can invite.
So that limits how many people I can invite.
Good.
My garden's pretty big. Why
Whose
don't
garden?
you use that?
Whose garden is it? Whose?
My garden's.
My garden.
My garden.
My garden.
My garden.
There you go. Put the stress on my. Yeah.
My garden's pretty big. Why don't you use that?
Good.
Are you sure? That would be all right. That would be great.
Listen
No
again.
problem at all.
Wait, listen again on that. Are you sure it would be all right?
Uh-huh. Are you sure that would be all right? Are you sure? Are you sure that would be great?
Wait a second. That would be great. It's a different thought. It's a statement, not a question, right? But that would be all right is part of the question before. So don't let the lack of punctuation confuse you.
Hmm. Are you sure that would be all right? That would be great.
Perfect.
No problem at all.
Okay, very good. That's it. Very good. So keep in mind, the material, even though some words are all capital, the words that only have part of the word in capital, only the main stress in capital, are actually more prominent. When I do a transcription, I'm going to do it more like this on page 10. I'm not going to put them all in capital because I think it's a bit confusing. I'll just put the stress syllable in capital. Okay. Okay, but anyway, you get the idea how it works because I heard everyone say it in a way that sounded pretty good. So what I'm going to do is maybe give you an exercise or two to try it on your own. So I'm going to give you an extract or two. These extracts are divided into speech units like we did in the last class. each unit contains one prominent word. So what I want you to do is, well, ideally you would listen to it first. You should listen to the extract as many times as you underline the prominent word. Okay, I think we're going to do it a little differently because it's too hard to work with listening here. I think what we're going to do is, let me see if I can copy paste this. If I can, what I'm going to have you do, oh, I can copy paste, good, okay. What I'm going to have you do is read it and tell me where the prominent words are rather than listening. You'll see what I mean. So let's try the first one here. I'm going to call this exercise 1. Whoops. You'll see it appear in just a second. Let's call this exercise 1. Okay. Let me just get it all on the screen in the same place. It's a little hard to read. Okay. So you should see it. We're on page 11 if you've opened the document. Otherwise, just stay at the screen. And what I want you to do is tell me where the prominent word is in each unit, and I will underline it and we'll see how it sounds. Okay? So everyone take a minute, read it silently first, then let's go back and put in the prominent word. Okay? Okay, everyone have a chance to read it? Is that a no or a yes?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So let's go around the room. We've got, let's see, Abraham, Giuseppe, Hussein, and Adair. Let's go in that order. Okay, so Abraham, you give me the prominent word in the first unit. The one you think
Me?
is stressed.
Nadir?
No, Abraham first,
Asking me.
Giuseppe.
Sorry.
So if you like, you can read it out loud and then tell me which is the prominent word, which is more stressed than the other words. Abraham.
Okay, I'll try. Most of the time, I think the most is the one we should emphasize.
I agree. Okay, Giuseppe, next unit. Going from left to right, next unit.
We advertise jobs.
So advertise.
Advertise.
Okay. Giuseppe, read the two units together.
Most of the time, we advertise jobs.
Good. Second question, Giuseppe. Where's the stressed syllable in advertise? Advertise has 3 syllables. Which one is the stressed syllable?
The second one.
Advertise? It's advertise or advertise?
Advertise.
So,
The
which
first one.
syllable? The first, right. So I'm going to put that in caps. Advertise, like this, okay? And
Okay.
Hussein, you're next.
National.
Okay. National.
National.
Okay, good. Read all 3 units together. Let's hear how it sounds.
Most of the time, we advertise jobs in national newspapers.
Good. Where's the stress in national? 1, 2, or
National.
3?
One.
1.
National.
Okay. I agree. Very good. Okay, and Adair, let's go on to the 4th unit. You see where we are, Adair? Where it says and on? Is Nadir there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know.
okay.
It's my turn. Sorry.
We're-
So,
we're-
website. Website is a stressed word.
Okay, good. All right.
So most of the time we advertise in national newspapers and on our website.
Very good. And which syllable is stressed in website? The first or
The
the
second
second?
syllable, I guess.
On our website
Website.
or on our
No,
website?
no, no. First one. Sorry, first
The
one.
first one.
Website.
Absolutely. So I'll put that in caps. Okay, very good. All right. So we're going to go around the room one more time. Hold on. And we're on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th unit back to Abraham.
Occasionally, however.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the...
So occasionally?
Yes.
Okay. Let's hear how it sounds from the beginning.
Most of the time we advertise jobs in national newspapers and our website. Occasionally, however.
Okay. So these two words are kind of like connector words,
Yes.
right? So if you're going to stress occasionally, that's fine. But first of all, which syllable is stressed? Which is the strongest syllable? Occasionally. So there's 5 syllables. Where's the stress, Abraham?
Occasionally, I think the first.
Occasionally. Oh, but listen, if I occasionally, that's the first.
Yeah, the second.
The second,
Occasionally.
right? Good.
Sorry.
So like this. It's going to look like this. There's your. Try to make it a little bit easier to read. I'll put it in bold. I think it's a little bit hard to see. Okay, so I'll put them in bold. All of them. There you go. And most doesn't need a stress because it's only one syllable. But occasionally. Okay, so far I agree with all of you. It sounds good the way it is. Okay, we're back to Giuseppe for the next one. I think it's the 6th.
We might approach someone.
Listen to the vowel in an approach. It's approach. Oh.
Approach.
Right. Okay, so where's the prominent word?
I guess it is the prominent or the stress.
No, first, which is the prominent word in the unit, in that little unit of words? So we left off with occasionally, however.
We.
Occasionally, however, we might approach. Well, is the stress on who's doing the approaching? Or is the stress on the action of approaching? Or is the stress on the possibility of approaching?
The possibility.
I think so too, because it says occasionally. So if that's the case, it's got to be might. If that's the case. By the way, there's more than one way. There's more than one way to read this, right? So it's not a black and white situation where it's right or wrong. It's not exactly right or wrong. So I think it's might as well because of the occasionally. All right. So let's hear it from the top, Giuseppe.
Most of the time, we advertise jobs in national newspapers and on our website. Occasionally, however, we might approach someone.
And you could even change your intonation a little bit more on might. I would probably say it like this. Occasionally, however, we might approach. Kind of goes up at the end. Some stressing possibility. So it almost sounds like a question. We might approach someone. So you might want to rise up on might. We might approach someone.
We might approach someone. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We'll come back to it. We'll give you all a chance to read it in just a second. Let's move on to Hussein for the second to last unit.
To see if they're interested. To see if they're...
Okay, could be, absolutely, could be. And there's only really one syllable, so we don't need to put the stress syllable. Let's hear how it sounds from top. Hussein.
Most of the time, we advertise jobs in national newspapers and on our website. Occasionally, however, we might approach someone to see if they are interested.
Well, you know what? Here, I might disagree with you because, again,
I think interested.
yeah, I think so too. Because what's the possibility about? It's about being interested. So yeah, I think so. And interested, where's the stress?
T, the second one.
Second, okay.
Interested. Interested.
So that would be interested. But listen how I say it. I say interested. Interested.
Rest.
That would be, if I put it on the third, it would sound like this: interested. But I'm not saying interested. I'm saying see if they're interested. Interested.
In.
So it's the first, right? It's the first.
Interest.
So I'll put that big. Interested. Notice I don't say interested. I say interested.
Interest.
Exactly.
Interest.
So I could even cut out the syllable, get out the E, like that. Interested. I'm not gonna write it like that. I just want you to remember, but it's interested. Okay, take it from the top then.
Most of the time, we advertise jobs in national newspapers. And
national or national?
National.
National, right.
Okay. In national newspapers and on our website. Occasionally, however, we might approach someone to see if they are interested.
Okay, and again on the might, it should sound almost like a question. We might approach someone.
We might approach someone to see if they are interested.
Okay, good, good. Okay, and then the last one.
Someone we might really want. Or maybe
there? Yeah,
someone. Someone.
Okay. We won't know until we read it.
Or
could be. And where's the stress? Someone, the first or the second?
Someone. First one?
Someone.
Someone.
Okay, I agree. You wouldn't say someone, you'd say someone. I agree. Huh?
Someone.
Okay, we won't know if it sounds good until we read the whole thing.
But maybe really, someone we might really want, maybe.
Okay.
Doesn't sound good, I guess, but maybe. Someone we might really want.
I'm gonna put it back. Yeah, could be, could be. Let's hear it from the beginning. Let's hear the sentence, the text from the beginning.
Okay. Most of the time, we advertise jobs in national newspapers and on our website. Occasionally, however, we might approach someone to see if they're interested. Someone we might really want. No, maybe. Someone we might really want. Maybe someone and want. Someone we might really want.
I would just say want, to be honest with you. Put the stress only on want, because that's the main idea here. Okay? Listen.
Yes, you please. You go ahead, please.
So listen to me say the whole thing now. Okay? As a native speaker, this is what it should sound like. By the way, the pronunciation of most, again, is O. Not ma, but mo.
Oh.
Most.
Right. Most of the time.
Most of the time, we advertise jobs in national newspapers and on our website. Occasionally, however, we might approach someone to see if they're interested, something we might really want. So it sounds better on the want. It sounds better at the end. So this exercise is to show you, we're doing it kind of backwards, because what you really should do is listen first and use this tool to analyze the text. doing it backwards. I'm having you guess, and then I'm reading it for you afterwards. But the main thing is that it shows you how you can mark up a text, and for you to practice later, you can record through the marking, you can record or remember what the intonation should sound like. So last week we broke, or 2 weeks ago, we broke it up into prominent units, and this week we're adding, 2 weeks ago we broke the texts up into units. This week we're adding prominent words. So this is sort of like taking some of our previous tools and just applying them in a different way. It's not really a new thing, but it's focusing more on the meaning of the text rather than the basic connections. So it's a little bit more advanced. Well, now that you have that exercise, what you're going to do is go up to page 10. Go to page 10 where you see this monologue. And I think the best thing to do is we try it once on our own, listen to it, and try it a second time after you've heard it. So, I'll tell you what, let's go back to Abraham. Could you read the description of the monologue on the very top there, where it says Charlotte Scarlett Johansson? Read that for us so we know what it's about.
Okay. Charlotte Scarlett Johansson asked Bob Bill Murray for advice on life and marriage, and he's brutally honest.
Right. Why does it say brutally? Does he hurt her? What does brutally honest mean?
Harsh.
Harsh, yeah. So he's not softening the message, right? He's being a little harsh. Not to hurt her, but just to be as honest as a person can be of life. Have you seen this movie, Lost in Translation? Has anyone seen it?
I've seen it, but I don't remember it. I saw it a few years ago.
I saw it a few years ago too, and I don't remember it either. I just remember Bill Murray singing karaoke. That's all I can remember in the movie. But it had lots of music in it. It had very little dialogue, and it was good because it wasn't a comedy. So you don't usually see Bill Murray doing a serious role. So it was interesting. Okay. So what we're going to try to do is one of you is going to try Bill Murray's little monologue here. So everyone read through it silently once right now. Make sure it's clear. If there's any questions, just ask. I'll give you a minute to read through it. Ask me questions, and then one of you is going to try it. We'll see how it sounds. I am going to ask you maybe to mark up one of the sentences, just as an example, okay? Something like that. So read through it now. I'll give you a minute to try it. Read through it now and make sure it's clear. 1 minute starting now. Okay, you've got 30 more seconds, so keep reading. Okay, are we ready? Did everyone have a chance to read?
Yes, I did.
Yeah? Okay. So, who wants to be the brave soul to try the monologue out? To make it a little easier for you, maybe we can kind of divide it into 2 parts, like this. So maybe we can have 2 people, something like that. So, who's going to try Bob, part 1?
I would.
I heard 2 I would's.
Go ahead, Mel.
So Nader, and who was the other one?
It was me,
Hussein?
Hussein.
Yeah, I can't see who's right now. I can only see the text. Okay, so Nadir, why don't you take part 1, and Hussein, you take part 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
listen. Yeah.
could you please magnify the text? Could you please make it a bit larger?
I'll try. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if I can. Hold on. Yeah, maybe I can. Hold on. Let's see if I can make it 120. How about that? Is that okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So, Charlotte, what about marriage? Does that does that get easier? Bob, that's hard. We used to have a lot of fun. She would come with me when I would make the movies and we would laugh about it all. Now, she doesn't want to leave the kids. And she doesn't need me to be there. The kids miss me, but they're fine. It gets a whole lot more complicated when you have kids.
Okay, good. I underlined the words that I heard you making prominent. I think I missed 1 or 2, but I've got a few. And Hussein, why don't you continue?
Yeah. The most terrifying day of your life is the day the first one is born. Your life, as you know it, is gone, never to return. But they learn how to walk, they learn how to talk, and you want to be with them. And they turn out to be the most delightful people you will ever meet in your life.
Okay, so these are the words I heard you making prominent. Okay, I might have missed a few. Let me just ask everyone. Well, let me ask the people who haven't spoken. So let me ask, starting with Giuseppe. What do you think the monologue is really about, based on what you've read and what you've heard so far? What's Bob trying to say to Charlotte?
Uh, uh, I don't know. Sorry.
Which part is confusing?
The second one, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to read it myself. Okay, I'm going to read it myself because what we're going to do is I'm going to give this to you as a kind of a homework to finish. Let me read it one time. Listen to me, Giuseppe, and then see if it's more clear. But tell me what part is confusing, and I'll clarify. Okay, listen once. Charlotte says, "What about marriage? Does that get easier?" By the way, I'm gonna read it in my own way, so my prominent words may be different than what's underlined there. But this is how I would read it. Bob, that's hard. We used to have a lot of fun. She would come with me and I would make movies and we would laugh about it. Now she doesn't want to leave the kids, and she doesn't need me to be there. The kids miss me, but they're fine. It gets a whole lot more complicated when you have kids. The most terrifying day in your life is when the first one is born. Your life, as you know it, is gone, never to return. But they learn how to walk, they learn how to talk, and you want to be with them. And they turn out to be the most delightful people you will ever meet in your life. So listening to it a second time, is it more clear, Giuseppe?
Yeah.
Who are the delightful people? Who are they? Who's he talking about? Is he talking about the President of the United States and his cabinet? No. Who's he talking about?
Well, he's talking about the children.
Right. He's talking about having children.
Having
Right,
children,
right.
yes.
Yeah. So the most delightful people are your own kids, right?
Yes.
Okay, just to make sure it's clear. And Abraham, why do you think he's saying this to Charlotte? We don't know because we haven't watched the film, but why do you think he's saying this about having kids to Charlotte? Abraham, what do you think? What's your guess?
He wants to say to her that first it's hard with the kids, then when they grow up a bit and you will love them for sure.
But why? Why do you think he's giving her this advice? If you had to make a guess, what would it be?
To be prepared, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, could be, yeah. What do you think the relationship is between Charlotte and Bob?
They are friends, I think.
They're friends. Because you saw the movie.
No, I didn't saw the movie, but Bob has child.
Ah,
He said, and Charlotte doesn't have any.
right. Okay, fine. So we know that they're not her kids, right? They're not married. Okay, fine. So here's what we're going to do. My way of reading it is maybe a little bit different than the way that Nader and Hussein read it, maybe a little bit different. But we're at the end of the hour too. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take out the underlines. Okay, I'm going to take them out. What I want you to do is keep the document somewhere, save the link. I want you to listen to the YouTube video so you can hear Bob's monologue by Bill Murray. You can copy and paste the text to another document and mark it up according to the way that we've been marking up the texts. In the next class, you can share it with me, or you can send me a message and send me your marked up text and I'll correct it. Then you perform the monologue yourself in the next class. Okay? You could send me a recording if you like, but that might get a bit complicated. It's up to you. But anyway, save this document. We have to stop now because we're at the end of the hour. Use the YouTube link to watch it, mark up the text, send it to me for corrections, or just wait till the next class and we'll correct it at the very beginning. Okay? So that
When is
was
the next class?
Oh, it's every Monday. Every Monday at the same time. Okay? Same time.
Okay.
Same time as today, every Monday. I have to stop now to do the business class, okay? But hang on to this link and or send me your homework and I'll be happy to correct it and give you feedback. Bye for now. See you in just a minute for the business class. Bye for
Thank
now,
you.
everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.